What is up, guys? So today's video I am going to be addressing something that's been pending for a while on the HellRAM, and that is the knock sensor issues. So we've been picking up a lot of knock with the knock sensors, and what the knock sensors have been doing is when it picks up the knock, naturally the tune, any tune for that matter, even a stock tune, is going to pull timing out in order to kind of protect the engine. So we've been running fast times with that supercharged HEMI Ram pickup truck, even though it's been pulling timing out. So what we're gonna do today is we believe the cause to be there's these locking tabs that are on the stage 8 fasteners, which are on the headers, the shorty headers that we have on there. So I'll show you those once we kind of rip things apart, but the reason those are on there is they're pretty cool design, but they prevent the header bolts from backing out, loosening by themselves. And but at the same time, these locking tabs we believe to be vibrating, and the knock sensors are picking it up, which is hurting our tune, hurting our times, all that good stuff, or bad stuff. So anyways, today's video, I'm gonna be ripping that stuff out. Viper's still on the lift, and I'm gonna be doing that in a separate video, just kind of showing you guys all that stuff, buttoning that up. We just finished putting the transmission in, swapping out the rear diff. So I have the transmission in, rear diff is swapped in. I still have everything disconnected, but I'll probably show you guys that in another video. Exhaust is out. Other diff is on the ground over here. But for today's video, I'm just about ready to pop the wheel to get access to where the headers are. It's gonna make it just ever so slightly more difficult with you know, the truck being lowered, but we'll manage. So in order to get the headers, you could try to possibly squeeze yourself in here, but it'd be a nightmare. Easiest way to do this is gonna be pop the wheel out, take out the fender liner, and everything should be just right there. So that's what we're gonna do. But enough of the talking, let's pull the wheel and get in there. So the wheel's off, fender liner bolts are removed as well as the clips, but I did want to show you guys just something kind of fun or funny is the Beltec 2.4. These wheels, there was nothing wrong with the fender liner prior, and the fender liner wasn't sagging by any means. All the bolts and clips were in place, but I was driving pretty aggressively on the weekend around some corners, and it is actually bottoming out on the fender liner, and it has nowhere to go because there is like the plastic bracket behind this, so it's actually rubbed a hole right through the fender liner right there, which you could probably see. Like I said, I was getting it in some corners, but I'll show you guys the piece of plastic behind if I can get this thing out with one hand right now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if I can do this with one hand, to be honest. There we go. Maybe I can. Let me just take this clip off the back. Okay, so here's where the hole is in the fender liner in the top. So if I can get it to sit still, it wore right through here, and it actually was touching on this plastic right here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it was rubbing on this plastic piece right here. So like I said, Beltec 2.4, I don't know if you'd want to go any lower. Most people probably won't try driving this thing like a sports car. I was getting it in some corners, but it was enough to actually drag on the bottom of this big plastic piece for the bottom of the fuse box. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking of going any lower than Beltec 2.4. If you start getting all crazy in some corners, driving it like it's NASCAR, it will drag here, apparently with these larger wheels. So I guess no real surprise, these wheels are larger diameter than stock 20s, but yeah, they are dragging there. Anyways, I'm gonna get some light in here so you guys can see what the heck I'm talking about. Those are the headers. If you guys haven't seen that video of the install or the wrap project, definitely check that out, but they're looking still just good as ever. The wrap is holding intact if my camera ever wants to focus on it. But yeah, the wrap's holding intact very nicely, and everything looks good and kosher in here. So anyways, let's get some light. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's what I was talking about, guys. If I can get this zoomed in as much as possible and our camera cooperating. So see that tab right there? This is the kind of thing or culprit that we're thinking it is. So that tab is essentially touching here, and when it rattles around, because they're just kind of free floating like so, and it's causing the knock sensor to pick up some sort of rattle, or noise or vibration, and that's what's that's what's kind of affecting our tune slightly. So I'm gonna end up popping those all off, and those are keeping the header bolts from backing off, which is a nice feature, but the tune being affected is not a nice feature. I mean, we could increase the threshold for the HP tuners and not care what the knock sensors are picking up, but really it's a good feature to have because knock sensors can find out if the motor is actually truly detonating. But when we have the interference noise that we're getting with those what we believe to be those clips, it's just kind of distorted and we can't trust the knock sensors. So I'm gonna remove these. They consist of this tab and a C-clip on the outside, and as you can already see, a lot of them are just buried, like you can't see them in here, so they're kind of hard to get at. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove them. Once I get them out on the floor, I'll show you what they consist of, so, since this is kind of a crazy pretzel looking contraption of an exhaust manifold. But I'm gonna pop those out, show you what they look like on the floor, and we can discuss. So here's one here. As you can see, it has teeth on it where you can position it on the actual bolt wherever it would be applicable, and then it consists of one of these C-clips that goes on to retain it from coming off or loosening itself. So that's what we're doing, and I gotta remove a bunch of them. I just removed that one that I was just showing you right there on the corner, but I still have a bunch others that are hidden behind there. So I'm gonna rip those all out, hopefully quickly, but some of them, honestly, like there was one or two or a few on each side that I couldn't even get to, so I just kind of left it, but there is the majority on there that I have to remove.
3 hours later.
I'm actually kind of impressed. I don't know how I got those on there. I got 4 off so far, but again, like there's like no room to work with. Even just to pop them off is a chore. So yeah, I hope I don't have to put these back on, but I'm gonna continue and see how many more I can squeeze out of there. All right, so there's 2 more. You guys can probably see them up there. We got the one here and one right there. I can barely get myself or a camera in here, but those are the 2 I'm gonna pop off right now. And you can probably see the knock sensor sitting right there too, so it's pretty close. Wouldn't be surprised if that is our issue. And hopefully it is, because frankly, I don't wanna keep doing this. All right, we finally got it off, you guys. 1 glove later, in about 2 hours, and she's done. No, it wasn't 2 hours, but definitely a pain. Not much room to work with, as you can see. Anyways, let's go back up top and we can button things up. So all the clips on the driver's side are removed. I'm gonna toss that fender liner back in, and instead of the 24s going on the front, 17s are gonna go on the front in prep for the track mode. So we're gonna have 17-inch with the stock Goodyear Wrangler tires on the front, and then we got the Hoosier tires mounted on the other 17s right there, which will go on the rear once we're ready to go. But no sense in putting 24s back on the front since track day is coming up. How hilarious does this look? I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I mean, look at that, and then compared to the back is just, the stance is 100 times better in my opinion with these 24-inch wheels in the back versus those funny looking fronts. But I'm gonna move on to the next side. So same process, rip off the passenger wheel, take out the fender liner, remove all these silly clips in this case, and continue. So same thing on this side, remove all the clips. This side, honestly, I think is gonna be just ever so slightly easier. It doesn't have that big pretzel, so to speak, as much. I know it's a vague description, but it's a little bit easier. You can see, oh, good thing we got good lights, but you can see a lot more of the clips on this one. As you can see, they're more visible, more accessible. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop those off. Okay, so I do have to say, I don't know if it's because I've gotten better at it, but it's definitely, this side definitely went a lot quicker. So this is all off. All those clips are off. They're all on the floor right here. I can go ahead and pop the wheel liner back in, put the wheel on, and we're done. All right, you guys, so mission accomplished on that one. We got them removed successfully. Definitely a lot easier to take them off than putting them on, but you guys can see just how difficult it could be to get in that area. Anyways, just to recap, these are the fasteners that were on there, stage 8. So I have a few extras, and these are all the ones that we pulled off. So again, that's the way they work. You can see that kind of ratchets. I think it's an 8-point to be honest, but it's got all these points on there, and then C-clip. And what you do is you clock this, you lean this against one of the runners so that it can't work its way loose. But unfortunately, this combination rattles and might be causing part of the issue. I won't know until I actually go out and do some data logging to find out if that fixed that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up for me, and check out some of the other automotive related content on the channel. If it's your first time stopping by, we got a lot of stuff on the channel and a lot more coming your way. But as always guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and probably next video we're gonna actually be going to the track. So hoping to get this thing to the track. If all goes well, if what we just did today works, we will get some track runs in and see what this thing can run. Anyways guys, catch you on the next one. Take care.